Grand Rising, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to yet another day of StarBloom Guest Speaker Showcase, where we go through each of the speakers in depth. We get to know who they are, what they're speaking on, including myself. And we are less than a week away from StarBloom 2021, second annual. And I'm so excited to be hosting this and having all of you join. This is going to be an amazing conference, absolutely free. So definitely feel free to RSVP. I'm going to drop the link in the comments section. But let me know how your energy is doing. How are you feeling today? It's a very, very powerful day of refreshed energy. I'm feeling very grounded myself. Breathing and definitely staying hydrated is the most important point. And we have our guest speaker coming on in just a minute. I'm going to wait for him to jump on in, but let me know how you're doing. How are you doing on your side of the world? It's such a beautiful day to be out and about and really hold space for each other. There we go. So I'm going to pin this comment in the section below, and you can actually copy that link and drop it into your address, and you'll actually be led to the YouTube channel, because that's where we're going to be actually broadcasting the event itself. So I'm so excited to be hosting this. Again, it's on the 21st of December, which happens to align with the winter solstice. So definitely excited to see how this all transpires. And I'm from Los Angeles. Currently it is morning hours. I'm sitting in nature, right on cue. You can hear the birds with the trees, and it's just so important to really get outside and breathe every so often, because we can get really congested in the spaces that we are for a while. So definitely an important point. So thank you all. We're just waiting for our guests to jump on in, and we'll get started. Again, we're going to be doing these all week. There's lots of different ones that are going to be featured, as you've seen in the past before, and you can see all of those in my live stream catalog. That's going to actually be transferred over to the StarBloom account. And if you want to reach the official StarBloom page, it's at StarBloomFest on Instagram. So very, very happy to be here and holding space for all of you. Definitely excited, and feel free if you have any questions about StarBloom. If you're unsure about something, just know that it's a free, very interactive online event, and all that's required is your presence. And even if you aren't able to attend in person, realize that we're going to be recording each of the guests individually, so we can actually be reposting those talks and presentations to each of our respective channels. So definitely look into that, get excited. Lots going to go on. Lots of surprises too. Very, very excited to debut those as well. So right now we are just waiting for our guest. There he is. Let's bring him on. There we go. Grand Rising, brother.
Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure for me to stay here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here and holding space. For everybody that's tuning in, this is Francisco Ayer. Very, very kind, beautiful soul that has dedicated his time and energy to be with us this morning and explain more about what you're going to be speaking on and who you are. I think I really want to dive into the depth of you, so I can get to know myself, and it's such a positive space and perfect place to do that. So how's your energy first and foremost? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling right now. Obviously, I came from a big movement here in UK. I'm from Argentina.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a big trip passing from Spain and, well, a lot of countries, and I'm here now, closer to Avalon, and working a lot of things and sharing retreats and other kind of courses and other things. And very happy to stay here with you with your proposal. Just that, share with the people what we vibrate, not also the words, you know. And sorry if my English is not the best. I will
Oh
try
no,
to do my best.
that's absolutely perfect. I think honestly, it's so cool though that we can have all of these different languages come together, even if they're not the native. You know, we find center right here in this moment. So I'm grateful that you're bilingual and we're able to communicate in this way. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished as well. Looking into you, hearing word through the grapevine about what you're doing. Um, just on a very surface level thing, it's so rare to find another divine masculine out in the wild. So, very, very grateful that you can hold that space and energy with us at the conference. And speaking of, your conference title is The New Pillars of Consciousness.
Yeah.
This is a very bold title, and I want you to kind of dive into what this exactly means and what direction you're trying to take it in.
Yes. Well, that information came to me because of that, because of the StarBloom. And what I had to share was a question, and all of that information came to me, and I will present 9 pillars of consciousness.
Wow.
Is the information we need to reach to that new age, that moment we are passing through. So we need to connect, but really connect with all of that. It's like deeply understanding about all of that concept, because
Yeah.
the people say, for example, because I see, I can believe, and
Hmm.
it's not the right thing, because I believe I can create. Is that the right thing? And all of that concepts, we need to that new age to share with the people and embrace all of that with love. Obviously, if you don't resonate with that, you can release that information, but I'm sure too much of that is very interesting for the people.
Yeah, I mean, you really touched on an interesting concept, which is the duality between external and internal validation. Uh, lots of wisdom we can be told, but even greater wisdom we learn ourselves and we experience firsthand. And that's exactly my case. That's how I came to my own awakening is, I didn't necessarily wait on somebody else to tell me what life was all about. I dove into my soul and I found that for myself, and the keys are there. So I think it's brilliant that you're going to be actually holding the space and showcasing the importance of that and really kind of sourcing the wisdom within. Because we all have it. We all have this really unique piece of the puzzle to share with each other, and
Yes.
I'm so grateful even like to have such an eclectic lineup with yourself included. We all just kind of like bundle and package this beautiful knowledge and experience that has probably taken years upon years to really cultivate and really center within ourselves. So for anybody who's tuning in, definitely look into attending StarBloom with us. I can promise you, you're going to gain so much wealth in knowledge and awareness when you come out of it, and you can join, Francisco for his talk, which is such a profound statement because you're right. Um, in this community, there is almost like a subtle divide in people trying to project versus, come together. And I really think that we're looking for unity. We're looking for that collaboration between us all. And it's beautiful because, especially everything that you're doing and how you've kind of transitioned locations and you've transitioned who you are, still discovering who you are. I think
Exactly.
that's a beautiful statement. We're the greatest project we'll ever work on, and when you really tune into yourself, the magic flows out. So I just wanted to ask, for everybody who's still getting to know you or is just being introduced to you now, how did you come to your self-awareness? Like, what is your awakening story?
Well, it's nice because all the people ask when, when I start that, and the thing is, there is not a point of start. It's all the time in all of the lines we are working, if we are conscious or not about the work we are doing. So there is no start, but in that line time, in the normal answer, is like 5 years ago, with a dark night, what I call is night
Yeah,
soul.
Dark Night of the
Uh,
Soul, yes.
yeah. And in that moment, I decided change my all of my life because I was a man who worked in the IT. I am IT engineer,
Okay.
so I work with that, and I'm professional volleyball player too, so I
Oh
was
wow.
playing that time. But all of that not make me real happy in that moment. Um, Everything was perfect in the normal thing, you know. I have my
Yeah.
house, da 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 da, my car, blah 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 blah, but not happy. And also my sister died. That was
Oh
the
wow.
back, and in that moment I decided um, I don't have too much options. I think it was like I have to do what I came to do in that time, that line time in the earth. So I take the responsibility we all have and start to build myself again.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's like die and rebuild yourself again with all of that
Oh yeah.
patterns you see, holding things from your past and saying no, that maybe hurts now, but I don't want it. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of information came to me after that, like rains, information, and I have to study later to understand what that information, you know, is normal. Usually, it's the other way. You pick up the book and study, and I understand. I can see now, and maybe receive the information months later, or I don't know. No, the other the other form, you know. I receive all of that. I don't know how explain to the people that in the beginning I don't want to share anything. I just wanted to be great and embrace the people. But with the time, I realized people need to connect with that. In a moment, I start with circles of masculinity. So because of that, when you say that, it's like, yes, we need more. We need more men with that uh, balance, you know, with that love, with vulnerability, with um, letting out the competence all the time, the aggressivity, and well, the balance is the resume, you know. And yeah, I start with that things and making therapies and receiving energy from the dragons, and well, it's a lot to share. So that is the start, you know.
Amazing. I mean, you definitely packaged a lot into there. Um, but that is what it is. You know, you don't really come to self-awareness without some kind of sacrifice. And a lot of the time that is a dark night of the soul. And it catches you almost off guard to act as a catalyst so that you can find yourself once again. Like I remember, especially during my awakening, I was shattered to pieces, you know, all the way down. And you really break down your ego, you break down your core, everything that you thought you were. Because just as you said, you're very successful in the 3D sense, but your heart wasn't rich. You didn't really feel that centeredness within. And I think that's the ultimate goal that we all strive for, is to really feel comfortable in what we're doing and how we're expressing our time and energy. And that's beautiful, you know, like everything that you've kind of rebuilt in yourself. Um, it's such a testament because a lot of people who are going to watch your stream and who are watching us right now, it's good to relate and understand that we are all kind of, we had to become fractured to become whole once again. And it's quite a process, you know, to really tear yourself down and come back even better, stronger, because that takes courage, especially when you face yourself for the first time. And and now it sounds like you're on the right track. You're making some amazing moves in the right direction. You know, you're working with energy. You're really expanding your consciousness and expanding the awareness. And then you also mentioned working with the dragons as well, which I always find interesting in that everybody has this place of inspiration, this guiding force within us. And yeah, I mean, you have to take everything into account. I mean, nothing is as we perceive it to be on the face front. You know, this reality is all full of illusion. So it's all about taking, you know, different breadcrumbs of guidance and love that come to us in the right way and presenting it to others. So that's beautiful. And you know, this is the first time I'm hearing about the dragons myself. So I definitely want to dive into you and hopefully we hear a little bit more about them in the actual conference itself. Um, but that's beautiful. You know, it really is so powerful to be an empathetic masculine, to really hold space for others and show that strength in caring and in love. That is so profound. And I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly what I try to teach myself is that you are the strength that you've been looking for. And it's just about embracing your natural archetype, whatever you've incarnated in this lifetime. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so when we tune into the pillars of consciousness, what are we to expect? What kind of surprises and things that you have to share for us?
Well, first, I want to say something about what you already said. I always say that in my courses, we have two ways to learn, to remember what we really are. And one of that is the pain moment, painful, darkness, all of that. But the other one is choosing, you know, choosing that path of remember with experiences, but with a whole space, you know, sacred space, like a sacred ceremony too. Um, and I start to live with that kind of, I call that magic, you know? So we don't need that kind of moments, that critical moments to change. We can do that. We can feel that is not what I need to do and go that direction without fear, without that paralysis we have like human species, you know. That is what I'm trying to say to the people. Obviously, in the course, for example, I made, sometimes the people go to the hell, but is holding space, you know, is with a group of people, and that is easy. It's like a training to remember. So obviously you have to remove things, and that sometimes is painful, but it's not the same you by yourself alone in the middle of nowhere, sometimes with no one to talk. Is different. So I open the space to make that simulation. is can be that hard thing, but this is more lovely. So if you want, I offer that, you know, and I just open the door because what happened all the time is people trying to convince you to do that, and it's the same with all of that information about the pillars of consciousness. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just share with you if that for you is good and you can prove in your real life that is, oh, okay, that is good. I changed that, and before I suffer, and now I'm happy with that. I put in practice. And the second thing is all of that information, all of that information we go to receive in your beautiful event. People needs to act. This is the so important, because it's not only, oh, I am listening, I prepare my popcorns, and oh, is Francisco speaking, or someone, I don't care. Is I need to practice that. I need to act in consequence of that information to realize that experience. You know, if you don't generate experiences, you don't change anything, because human beings learn about experiences, not about only okay, popcorns and watching, you know. So I start with that recommendation. It's like all of that you feel, go and pass through that, living, feel it. Uh, and about the nine pillars of consciousness, is about opening to our multidimensionality, is
Hmm.
about the sensitive human being we are, is about the others sense we don't wake up, so give it to them more important um, than the others, than that touch and view and listen. No, go very deep and feel it, because you can feel a lot of things, and that things in the most cases are answers, you know.
Yeah.
So we are trying to find all the time answers, and are there in that
Hmm.
opening moment, in that emptiness moment, without the mind, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, we go to embrace all of that pillars with love, because they are all connected each other. I don't want to say now which one. I don't want to say that nine that they
Yeah.
go to receive that information. It's
Of
not the
course.
time now,
Of course.
because that need to be explained properly,
Hmm.
and that space to connect really with each one, you know.
Yeah.
But going to be interesting, I think.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's so important. You mentioned some really good points in that you really take what resonates and leave the rest. A lot of people can get hung up on their beliefs and then end up getting triggered unintentionally by new wisdom that comes their way. But the whole point is that you want it to resonate within your soul, within your being, to know if it's needing integration or not. And then, of course, that leads us into the actual act of making and producing momentum in these practices, which I think is such a beautiful point that you made. Definitely, you can't just watch and observe. While you can, it's beautiful. You learn so much, you expand your consciousness, but it's about putting it to action and really getting the 2 feet moving, especially in all these practices, because they're meant to better you, raise your vibration, and actually create a better reality for you in exchange. So that's beautiful, and I love. Yeah, keep the secrets of your talk. I want to be surprised as StarBloom comes by. I think it's is going to be such a beautiful event, especially with your energy, catering us. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And for anybody who's just joining, definitely copy the link below. It's in the pinned comment. If you want to find out where we are, it's on Instagram at StarBloomFest. And we are here with Francesco Ayer. Thank you so much for being on. And it's incredible. I know you're working on so many different projects, and I'm definitely going to stay tuned. I'm going to keep some tabs, see where you go with all of this. But for you holding space and really kind of diving in, I want to give you the space to speak in your native language and really express yourself and what you're going to be debuting at StarBloom. So the stage is yours. Go for it. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, for me it's a real challenge, because well, not now, but in the island retreat, I started channeling information in Spanish, and I want to share with the people in the meditation moment. All of that, I how can I say that word?
I
For
know.
example, I wanted. After that, I started channeling in English, but that transition I'm living now still,
Yeah.
is beautiful. It's beautiful, and share all of that with the people and with you and with, yeah, I think is beautiful. Is being that network we need to be. You know, is
Exactly.
not only me working to myself, that is beautiful too, but there is a moment we need to share, and we need to share and embrace others, and maybe it's a moment in silence, maybe it's a moment without words. I'm sure if we are here, for example, a few minutes only watching us, the people can feel all of that, and without words, you know. And this is the real message I want to share with the people. And don't get the language. Because of that, when you invite me a few days ago, even if I thinking the language, and no, but I need to share that. That is energy. That is the real language. Is the universal language. So I say yes. I have to say yes, you know. And yeah, I think was is beautiful, that, and opening to share that is beautiful too. So thank you very much for all of that, because you know how much energy all of that takes, how much work is behind the scenes, how much love you have to put on that. Because yes, you're a human being too, you need your things, you need to pay the rent, you need to blah 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 blah, and you are taking time to share with the people free all of that information, and maybe that information changed the life not only one person. So
Yeah,
that is
thank you.
beautiful, very beautiful. So thank you very much for staying here.
Well, thank you for just being here and holding space. It's so profound. You're right. Like, I tune in to a lot of different Spanish accounts, and sometimes all it takes is just being in the energy to get the message. You don't even need to perceive what's being spoken on. You just feel the resonance, and it's very, very powerful. So, Francisco, thank you so much for holding space, and thank you for being a part of the second annual StarBloom 2021, coming up this 21st of Tuesday. You can check him out speaking on the new pillars of consciousness. And Francisco, where can we find you on social?
Sorry, I lost the connection.
Oh, it's okay.
I forget
Um,
the end.
no, you're cool. You're cool. Where can we find you on social? Where are you out on
Ah,
the internet?
okay. I go to, well, I can write it. It's
Okay.
Francisco M yeah, .com. Mm,
Beautiful. And if you want to keep up with any of our other guest speakers, definitely check out Instagram at StarBloomFest, or constantly watch my stories. I'm updating. We'll be doing a lot more promo this week up until the actual date. And it's going to be such a magical evening. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very amazing time. So click his little URL down there, or check out his page on Instagram. Lots and lots of wisdom coming from this guy. And I'm so proud to know you, and there's much more to know and to grow together. So I'm so grateful for that. But with that being said, thank you so much for holding space. Thank you everybody here in the live stream that was present. I'm going to be reposting this to my story as well as the StarBloom account. So keep a lookout for that. And Francisco, we'll see you in less than a week on the big stage.
okay, my friend. It's a really pleasure for me. Stay here is very comfortable space you generate, and now I'm enjoying being here. So
Yeah.
um, see you soon.
I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. Make sure to check out the accounts for different information, and we'll catch you soon. All right. Ciao.
Bye.